Hello class. In my last video we have covered the law of dominance. So this video is in continuation with that, and here we'll be talking about the law of segregation and the law of independent assortment. These two are the building blocks of the idea that we know today about the inheritance, is known as the Mendel's law of inheritance. After getting the conclusion of law of dominance, he started the experiment on the pea plants with the different traits. He took the second trait, that is the height of the plant. So he took two varieties, one with the tall and one with the short. So the possible parent genotypes for the tall will be capital T, since it is the dominant characteristic, and for short it is small t, since it is a recessive characteristic. Now, as we know that in the sexual reproduction there is a gamete formation takes place, and then the fertilization of these gametes will be result into the development of the offspring. So here also the possible gametes which can be formed. If you can see there are two different parents. Let's suppose parent 1 is showing male parent, it is male, which is showing by capital T, and this is female, small t. So one of the allele will be passed on to one gamete. So the possible gamete will be formed with capital T. Is it clear? And here the possible gamete which can be formed from the female, that is ovum, will be carrying only the small t. Is it clear? Half the number from the diploid cell. Okay, gametes are haploid in nature, so during meiosis, which is reduction division, the diploid 2n will convert into n form. So only one copy they are going to carry. Now after a gamete formation, what will happen in the sexual reproduction? The fertilization will take place. So the possible ways in which the gametes will fuse is maybe this capital T will fuse with this small t, so it will give capital T, small t. If this capital T will fuse with this small t, then again it will give capital T, small t. If this capital T will fuse with this small t, then it will give capital T, small t. And if this capital T will fuse with the second small t, then it will give again capital T, small t. So these are the F1 genotypes. F1 genotypes. F1 is what? First filial generation. So here heterozygous, capital T, small t, that is heterozygous form is obtained. In F1 generation, heterozygous form, capital T, or you can see all are capital T, small t. So in F1 generation, heterozygous form is obtained because two different alleles are present. One is capital T and another one is small t. So two different alleles are present, so it is heterozygous form. Clear? And if same alleles are present, then it is known as homozygous. Clear, students? This is also homozygous recessive and this is homozygous dominant. Capital T is dominant, so this is homozygous dominant because both are capital T. Here homozygous recessive because both are small t. And in F1 generation all will be heterozygous because heterozygous dominant. Why heterozygous dominant? Heterozygous means both are dissimilar. One is capital T, one is small t. And why it is dominant? Because you can see in all capital T is present, and you know that capital T is dominant one. Now what F1 phenotype? That is the observable characteristics of this genotype will be what? All will be tall plants. Clear? All will be tall plants. You can see, you can observe the tallness of the plant. So that is only phenotype. Clear, children? Now the question is, why all will tall? Why all are the tall plants? Because you can see that in all capital T is present, which we have already discussed. Capital T is present and capital T is dominant characteristic, and it is giving which trait? The tallness of the plant. So all plants will be tall in the F1 generation, that is phenotype characteristic. Now again Mendel did not stop here. What he did? He took two plants from F1 generation. He took two plants from F1 generation and self-crossed them together. Capital T, small t crossed with capital T, small t. Is it clear? So there will be cross between capital T, small t and capital T, small t. Both are heterozygous dominant offspring which obtained in F1 generation. Remember? So he took two different parents, one male category, one female category, one male category, and another side he took female category of the same heterozygous type. He observed in F2 generation what type of the plants he will get. Although here in F1 generation, the short plant were disappeared. You remember, in F1 generation there is no short plant, only tall plants were there. Okay, so in F1 generation not a single short plant was visible, but after crossing two heterozygous plant, which he took from F1 generation, he got, if we take male, then two types of gametes will form, one with capital T and one with small t. Clear? And if we will take female plant, then possible ovum which can be formed is one with the capital T and the other one will be with small t. Clear? So two types of gametes will form in male as well as in female. You can see two types of gametes will form, capital T, small t, and in female also capital T, small t. Clear? So now the possible fertilization which can take place in between these gametes, which result in the different F2 genotypes, which could be, if capital T will fuse, then it will give capital T. Clear? If capital T will fuse with small t, then it will give capital T, small t. If small t will fuse with capital T, then it will be capital T, small t. And if small t will fuse with small t, then small t will form. Small t, which is recessive characteristic, actually which was disappeared in the F1 generation. In F1 generation, this recessive character was disappeared, but in F2 generation, this will reappeared. Clear? So basically, the F2 phenotype, which will be now we can say in the F2 generation, there is three tall plants will be there and one short plant will be there. Clear, children? Why I am saying three tall plants? Because you can see in all these three, capital T is present, which is dominant one. So three tall plants and one short plant. This is small t. So three tall plants and one short plants will be there. The phenotypic ratio will be 3:1. Observable characteristic ratio will be 3:1 because three tall plants will be there. 3 tall plants will be obtained and 1 short plant will be obtained, or dwarf plant will be obtained. Is it clear? And genotypic ratio will be 1:2:1. 1 for capital T, that is homozygous tall. 2 for capital T, small t, there are 2. So 2 for heterozygous allele, capital T, small t, heterozygous alleles are there. So 2 for heterozygous allele and 1 for small t, that is homozygous recessive allele. So 1:2:1 is the genotypic ratio. From this, Mendel gave the law of segregation. Law of segregation, also called the law of purity of gametes. It says that the 2 members of a pair of factors separate during the formation of gametes. The 2 members of a pair of factors separate during the formation of gametes. They do not blend but segregate or separate into different gametes. The gametes combine together by random fusion at the time of zygote formation. In other words, that chromosome pair separate during the meiosis, so that each gamete receives 1 allele for a given trait. So the given trait was the height of the plant. So you can see that the 2 members of a pair will separate. Clear? And 2 types of gametes will form. Okay, one gamete will be with the capital T allele and the other gamete will be with the small t allele. So here law of segregation means characteristic that we look for, and so characters are separated during the gametogenesis. That means during the formation of gametes, there is a half chance of getting a specific character, a trait from father, and half chance getting a trait from mother. So the traits are separated during the time of gametogenesis. Now after this, Mendel did not stop here itself. Earlier he was studying only the monohybrid process, that is, he was studying only the one trait inheritance in the every generation. But then what he did? He thought to start studying the dihybrid crosses. He started the studying of 2 types of traits together in a one cross only, and he tried to understand how the 2 different characteristics are inherited or passed from one generation to another generation. So what he did? He took a parent phenotypes with 2 different characters. That is, he took the plants which are having the one character with the shape of the seeds and the second character with the color of the seeds. So the shape of the seeds, he took the 2 plants, one with the round shape and one with the wrinkled shape. And color of the seed, he took yellow and green. Clear? So the dominant characteristic in this were the round and yellow seeds, and the recessive one were the wrinkled and green seeds. So if you write the genotypes, then how you will write? For round you will write capital R, that is genotype, and for yellow capital Y. Clear, children? If you write the genotypes, then for round shape you will write capital R, and for yellow you will write capital Y. And similarly for the recessive one, how you will write? As we know that the rules which Mendel followed, so it will be small r for wrinkled and small y for green color. Now again the possible gametes which we can get, capital R, capital Y, and the second gamete will also be having same, capital R, capital Y. While in case of recessive parent, you will get again the two types of gametes, small r, small y, small r, small y. So the possible combinations of these gametes when it fuse, what it will produce in F1 genotype? It will come capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. That is the phenotypes here. Although the recessive allele is present, but still what is the F1 phenotype? That will be round and yellow, which is the dominant characteristic. Clear? Again for the F2 generation, to obtain what he did, he self-crossed the F1 generation. Just do remember, every time whenever Mendel did the crosses, what he did, whatever the F1 generation genotypes obtained, he has just self-crossed them together for the F2 generation. So he did the self-crossing here. Capital R, capital Y, small y is crossed with the same one, capital R, capital Y, small y. Although with the two different parents, one will be male and another one will be female, and then he studied what will be the possible combinations of the gametes. The possible combinations of the gametes will be from this particular parent will be four types: capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. Clear? Similarly, in the case of the other parent also, he got the same gamete combinations. You can see capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. He put all four gametes of one parent on the one side of the Punnett square, and the second parent gametes he put it on the other side of the Punnett square, and then he studied the possible combinations. So it will be capital R, capital Y, capital Y. When capital R, capital Y will fuse with capital R, capital Y, then it will give capital R, capital Y, capital Y. So you can see all these combinations. So what is the result? Genotypic ratio, you can see, which Mendel got, is very complex. Then also you can learn by own, if capital R is present, then the seed will be round, and if capital Y is present, then seed will be yellow in color. Like that you can see. Genotype means allele combination and phenotype means observable characteristic. So in phenotypic ratio we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 9 will be round and yellow. Then this one and this one will be round and green. 3 will be round and green. Clear? You can see that capital R present in all three, so it will be round, and small y is there, so it will be green color. So 3 will be round and green. Clear? Now next 3 will be wrinkled and yellow. You can see in all 3 capital Y is present, so it will be yellow will be dominant and shape will be wrinkled because small r is present. Okay, so 3 will be wrinkled and yellow, and only 1 will be wrinkled and green. You can see small r, small y. Clear? So the ratio will be 9:3:3:1. 9 round and yellow, 3 round and green, 3 wrinkled and yellow, 1 wrinkled and green. So what is the conclusion he got after this dihybrid cross? He came to the conclusion that since you can see here in the F1 generation, only the round and yellow seeds were present. This was missing, the recessive character. This is the recessive character which was missing. Clear? So but in the F2 generation, he again got the in this generation he again got the round and yellow also and wrinkled and green also, which was the recessive in F1 generation. Clear? And also he got the hybrid forms, that is round and green and wrinkled and yellow. These two were hybrids. Clear? So what he came to the conclusion? He came to the next law, which is the law of independent assortment, which says when there are 2 pairs of characters, the distribution of the alleles of one character into the gametes is independent of the distribution of the alleles of the other character. Clear? As is seen in the production of gametes of the F1 hybrid in dihybrid cross. See here, one of the pair, capital R, capital Y, they are separately being assorted independent of the other trait. Okay, capital R, capital Y means the shape of the seed is not going to influence the color of the seed in the next generation of the plant, which would be getting because they are separated independent of each other during the gamete formation. So that is called the independent assortment. Application of Mendel's laws. First one, a knowledge of the basic Mendelian principles gives us an idea about the new combinations in the progeny of hybrids and enables us to predict their frequency. Second, such information is of great importance to both plant and animal breeders for producing better breeds. And the third one, new types of plants with new combinations of useful characters can be produced by hybridization.